caltrop is an area denial weapon designed to stop the enemy. The caltrop is a sturdy, simple, yet effective weapon no matter its position. Its purpose was originally designed to stop elephant and donkey attacks. It graduated to stopping tanks. And now, the caltrop is your defense against propaganda, polished lies, and manufactured outrage. It's free from counterfeit credibility and synthetic truth. However, inside the walls of the caltrop, you're going to be forced to think. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Mike Calderese is the caltrop.
Coming down the mountain from the heaven to the hell, the Mike Calderese, the caltrop, he never stops, so ring the bell. He bring the facts, he's been up every morning till we sleep. He get it deep, Mike Calderese, in your head and in your sheets. And we don't mind, and we don't care, Mike Calderese is the caltrop. And we don't mind, and we don't care, Mike Calderese is the caltrop. And we don't mind, and we don't care, Mike Calderese is the caltrop.
Good evening and welcome to the Caltrop, a special edition, July 4th weekend edition. This is July 5th, obviously, in 2026. And welcome to the Caltrop. You guys know I am your defense mechanism against bullshit. And I got to tell you something. I sat in my backyard today with Chris Pollak and Mordecai Bernstein. Both of them were sitting next to me. We were both talking. We had some heated moments. We had some fun moments. We had some moments of clarity. I think we had some very good conversation overall. And, what I'm trying to do, and maybe everybody misunderstands what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to get down to truth. I'm trying to get to reality. I'm trying to get to understanding. I'm trying to understand if we can understand each other. Does everybody understand that fucking concept? Can we actually understand somebody that we don't fundamentally understand? That's what I'm trying to do. And I try to have these guys on. I try to have people talking. And the majority of the people, they want to talk to me behind closed doors. And some of them are incredibly charismatic. Some of them will draw you in close. Some of them are fucking really good. But it's all... they don't want to be on the show. And there's always a reason, there's 40 or 50 different reasons why they don't want to come on the show. But the only reason that matters to me is they don't want to talk to you directly in a real way, the way I get to see some of these people, or the way they're actually portraying themselves to me. I might be meeting their customer service representative. Who knows? But the bottom line is, I had two people in my backyard, one stayed. And that is my man Chris Pollak, right? And now Chris Pollak came over with his family. We had pizza night, and this was all planned for Chris. So by the way, everybody, I brought you on stage. I didn't even give you a great introduction. This is Councilman of Jackson, New Jersey, Chris Pollak. How you doing, buddy?
Doing all right. It's always good to be with you. I don't know, Mike, I like to give you the most honest you're going to ever hear from anyone in my position. I love you. I love your family. I love hanging out with you.
Am I different? Tell everybody, am I different in real life than I am on this camera?
Or this is Mike. He's outside in the backyard having a beer and a cigar and debating the council president of Jackson. And he thought
he could debate me, by the way. He thinks he could beat me in a debate. I'm going to tell everybody right now. And I said this to Morty. I said, Morty, man, you're an impressive dude. Because let's face facts. I'm going to give him a lot of credit. Morty is he came right into the backyard, immediately started breaking balls. I got to give him credit for that. He was sitting down and having a good time with us, and we were laughing, and we had a blast with him. And then we had some contentious moments, right? But we had a blast with that guy, right? But what I said to him, because he's a confident guy. He's confident in himself, but he thought he would blow me away in a debate. And I think it's absolutely once 100% that he can't debate me. But no offense, but what I offered Morty was, I said, Morty, man, you pick the moderator, you pick the position, you pick the forum. I'll do it. I will come to Lakewood and have a debate with you if you want to do that, and we could go. I will do it anywhere, any place, anytime. Period. And I know you're the same as wait, am I wrong with that or what?
No, I guess since we're talking about debating, right? I challenge all the people running for Jackson office, Mayor Jennifer Kuhn, the 2 other people running for council. I challenge you to come on this program and have an open dialogue. I don't even care about debates. I want to talk. I want to have a conversation. I don't want time limits. I have a firm belief in the truth. And I think if you're doing the right thing and you have the right intentions, I just think you come off the right way. I'm not afraid of debate.
Mark, but let me do this, right? Because it's funny because everyone's like, "Oh, you're just up Chris Pollak's ass, and we're in bed, we're the same team." And listen, here's the truth: I like this guy for who he is, and that's just it. And I'm going to stick up for you, but I am going to kind of go get what is I'm going to push back on you tonight, dude. We talk about the title of this show is America Starts in Your Backyard, and you said the right and the wrong things, and the thing that I see is that you view right one way, they view right another way, another group views right a totally different way, right? So when we talk about what right and wrong, honestly, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I'm talking about?
I think there's a morality that I think most people can understand. I think there's going to be some variations, but I don't know. I don't like people who live in the gray too much. I often love the black and white because I believe in it. I believe in right and wrong. And I'm not a super religious guy, but I am a religious guy. So I believe there are lines drawn no matter what the occasion or no matter what the instance is.
But you talk morality, right? And it's one of my things is depending on what group you belong to, your morals are totally different. To a cannibal, eating other humans is okay. That morally that's acceptable to them. And what I have noticed is there is a clash that's going on right now where we have morality to some people is not morality, to you. And what you hear a lot of the time is and I agree with what you're saying ultimately, right? Because right now it's oh, is it legal? Is it legal? Is it legal by law? Can we do it? That's the argument. But there's a right and wrong component to abusing something, and there's and when we talk about morality, are these American values, right? Well, because when people talk about morality, I think religion pops into my mind. But is there some type of morality when it revolves around America? And this is July 4th, bro. And we did have in our backyard 2 totally opposite people, right? So, what's your take on something like that?
I think America has a founding. I believe we have inalienable rights, and I believe in the Constitution. There's right and wrong. Legal doesn't make it right. That's my whole thing. You can do something really messed up to somebody. It's totally legal.
Yeah.
But you still do something really messed up to people. You're still hurting somebody.
Yeah.
You could hurt somebody every single day. You could be abusive every single day to someone. It's totally legal. You hurt people every single day. It's totally legal. Doesn't make it right. I believe in doing what's right. You may not even like it sometimes, but you should still try to do the right thing. I have a weird, and maybe you see this in me, philosophy and suffering.
Okay.
See, I think you're funny.
I say this all. You are suffering through this. I say that as a friend, bro. I see you're tormented daily, and this stuff bothers you to your core.
But I think suffering brings power in a way. It brings righteousness. Willing to do the things that you don't really want to do because it's the right thing. Willing to do the extra work. Willing to deal with people you don't want to deal with. Being involved in something vile and disgusting like politics. I just believe you have to suffer to eventually win. And just be willing to sacrifice yourself. Be willing to sacrifice your happiness, your life, it's a firm belief I have. It's not that I'm masochistic in any way. Believe me. I care, and I'm willing to suffer for the right causes. And that's where I come from with all this.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, everyone's saying to turn you up a little bit. Guys,
here's the God's honest truth. I took this entire studio down and I just like power put it back together. And one of my other boards was not working, so I had to bring in a backup board. So let me know if he sounds better. Turn up Chris's volume. Let me know. Say a couple things for him, Chris.
Hey,
Are you better now? Is he better now?
I hope we're better now.
I hope we're better now.
We didn't get into the juicy stuff yet, so it's okay. You guys didn't miss too much. We didn't get into the deep stuff.
We are, yeah. So what you were down. So this is my upstairs board where I typically would have the second person set up. So I do apologize. How is that? I hope that's a little bit better. But thank you guys. That's why I turn to the comments, because I rely on you guys. This is live. And the God's honest truth is we've been making pizza out of my pizza oven, and it's been a great day. I have had a couple alcoholic beverages, so we're gonna go from there. So, dude, listen. So why don't you start here? You talk about it's tormenting you. Just give everybody take us back behind the scenes. What are you seeing? Because there was at times you were pissed. He brought your name up and you got pissed off. So like, what are you seeing behind the scenes that's the most egregious things that we have to get rid of?
Oh, it's all corrupt. I don't know how to say it. I'm there. These people don't serve you, the people. They don't care. You have a patronage system. I just see how they make deals, how they change laws. How do you change zoning laws for a developer that you have financial ties to? How do you do that and stay in your seat? It baffles my mind.
But so like when you get in there, like, so take me to a regular ass council meeting, right? What is the behind the scenes deal making? Do you guys do any conversation about what you're signing, why you're signing it? Do you get like a review of it? Do the lawyers sit you down? Like, do me a favor, like just take us behind the scenes. Because like honestly, what a lot of people, like, the reason why I look at you is like, you're the one that's going to get back there and you're going to tell me. So take us all behind the scenes to where if we were councilmen, what are we looking at? Like,
Mike, there's not much.
No,
there's not much. There's not much communication. I don't like talking to these people. I do talk to them. I will ask questions. I will bust their balls.
Do they not talk to you because you don't like talking to them?
I'm sure it's part of it, but I think they don't talk to the other guy who I like on the council too very much. I get information last minute sometimes. I have to question things. I don't like it. I don't like communicating with them. I don't get real reasoning of some of the stuff they're doing. Some of it doesn't make sense. Hi, Logan. All right, this is my son. Right.
So we told him to kick the door. He doesn't have to go real quick. We told him to kick the door in and come in and say hi. Do me a favor. You got to get in the camera. Now. Peek your head in over there. There you go. Now go back. Oh, yeah, there you go. Ready, go. Come over here. Come over here. Ready? Look in this camera. See? Look up that way. Look up that way. See it? Come closer. Come closer. There you go. This is Chris Pollak's son, everybody. How you doing? He wanted to kick in the door. And
Logan, you can say one thing.
Logan, say one thing
to the people.
One thing.
What do you say? Anything. Say it. Whatever it is.
Come closer. Whatever it is.
You're at a loss for words?
You're lost for words? You weren't a loss for words at all.
All right, get out of here.
You weren't a loss for words at all.
I love you. Goodbye.
Can you tell you the words?
You have to say the words.
You have to say and make them up in your own mind. What are they?
What message you have for the people?
He says,
okay, go think about it.
I kicked the door back in.
We got to keep rolling. We got to keep rolling.
No, this is listen, this is 4th of July. This is America, man.
That's true.
And how much more America do we have? And I told him to do that. He's just doing what I asked him to do. He's awesome.
No, I got to tell you, Mike, this is America. And I'm weird. I get sentimental about everything that's going on, where I'm at in life. I look outside, I see my wife and my son. I see your wife and your little baby, man. And we're trying to live the American dream. We're trying. I think it's difficult.
Can I ask you a serious question though? Like when you look in their backyard today, what did you see when he came by? Right? Because I did see America. Right? I saw all my friends laughing and talking with Morty. It wasn't, these are the people that if they voice their real concern, because I think a lot of them do agree with what I have to say, they would be called something. But here you had a guy that had, he definitely came over but he sat in our backyard and we talked like we normally would with any other human being on the planet. And I think that message gets lost, right? That is what we had in my backyard is America. That's why, like, when I was setting up the show, I was like, America starts in our backyard, because when he started saying he was coming over, right, we had every genre here and we were laughing and having a good time. Was that fake? Do you think that was fake, or do you think it was partially not fake? You know where I'm going though, bro?
Yes, I think it's a mix, of course. I refuse to be fake. As you can tell, I don't know, people obviously weren't here, don't know. I don't like him. I don't like him. I don't like what he's done to the town. I don't like what he does. I don't like he continues to do. I don't like what's happening. Just like the majority of people who live in Jackson, they're not freaking happy. So I'm not going to pretend to be happy with somebody who's leading us in a direction that most of us don't want. So as soon as he brought up my name, I was just playing football with my son and ignoring him, because I don't like being around these people. And they'll tell you, because it's very apparent. I don't like being around with these people. I'm not going to be fake. I'm not going to play the gay political game. It's not happening with me. As soon as he brought up my name, I went off on him. I'm not doing it. Like, nobody messes with me. Nobody messes with the people I represent.
Daddy's fighting the government.
There you go. That's how you kick in the door, buddy.
Those are very true words.
Dude, that was actually perfect timing though, because you are fighting the government, bro. And it's interesting because what you definitely show that you don't care about these people. Let me ask you a very serious question though. If I was voting for you, do you think, like, where do you think that approach has gotten you so far? You know what I'm saying? Do you think that's helpful going in with saying, hell with you guys? Because, like, I know you went in thinking, listening to people, and then quickly you were telling people that said, go fuck off, right? I mean, that's how I remember it happening. But do you think that hurts you? Or do you think that helps you? Or do you think you're getting your message across? What do you think you have results from it? What do you think?
Let me tell you, I look at this from my own perspective, and I feel like it's the perspective of most people. Who likes a politician? No. I mean it. Everybody, like, they're all exposed at this point. Nobody in this country is effing stupid anymore. I hate that I'm a stupid politician now, right? Like, it's stupid. I hate it. Like, I prefer to be that guy on the outside saying you're all crooks and you're all scumbags and you all should be kicked out. Like, I'm going to be the same guy.
You want to be dancing at town halls and stuff? I could see you. I could see you and Will Philly dancing.
I love Will, but
I do love Will.
But you know what? I have to be true to who I am. I'm not going to change because I got in. I'm not going to have to speak differently. I'm not going to have to act differently. Well, now I'm a politician. Politicians aren't so bad. No, you all suck. And I experience it on a regular basis. So no, I'm not changing. I think it helps me. But because I relate to it. I'm just being honest. Yeah. So I'm not going to change. I'm going to keep fighting them. Like, what am I supposed to do? Go along with them? Compromise myself? Like, what am I supposed to do, Mike?
But so like, let's do this. Let's get into your platform a little bit and address something that Morty said when we were sitting out here, right? One of the things that he kept saying was
platform right here, dude.
No, I love that you actually have a platform, and I want to discuss it. But something that, one of the things that he said to us sitting there, and like I say, a lot of it was a frank conversation, and a lot of stuff was said facetiously. But one of the things that he did say to me is, let's just say you guys get in. How are you going to stop any of it?
Listen, I don't pretend like I'm going to change the world.
Right?
Okay. I'm not a lying politician. Okay. It's going to be an extremely difficult job ahead. Mm-hmm. And I can't pretend like, oh, I'm a savior. We're going to change everything. We're going to fix everything. No, I refuse to overpromise. I'm not doing that. I'm going to be real with you. I'm being honest with you, and I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to fight for change. I have a platform, and to be honest, some of these people I'm against are smart, intelligent in a lot of ways, but I think they're stupid in a lot of ways. I think they're stupid for continuing to underestimate me. I have a lot of ideas. They don't get it. I woke up at 4:45 yesterday morning, and what I did, went into my kitchen, and I'm sitting down there going through what I need to do to help make this town better, what I need to do to make things work? You know, what type of things are we going to do that we can actually make happen, that can make things better?
Well, if you talk to Morty, he believes he's doing the exact same thing. Right? I mean, you both sound like you're trying to fight. You're trying to.
For who, though? I mean that, for who? I'm sorry. When you change zoning for a developer that you're financially connected to, who are you making things better for? This is the thing. I'm a different kind of person, and this is why they hate me, because I'm not part of their game. I'm not connected to anybody. Nobody financially. So nobody politically.
How do you make it better? How do you win? Like, give me something in your platform. Let's go of, like, you know, give me a couple bullet points. Like, what are we talking about?
I'm going to give you the whole.
Give me a bullet point. And let's explore it.
Let's go. Listen. There is an evil system that rules over our politics, that rules over government, basically in general, from the local level to the top level. You need to break that system. And you'll hear me say that over and over again. The system must be broken. You know how you break it? First and foremost, through your own example, right? What controls politics, Mike? Let me ask you some questions.
Money.
I'm gonna have
money. Period. Game over. So that's the only reason why George Gilmore, Gilmore. That's the only reason why he is continuing to maintain power, because nobody could fundraise and kiss ass and do the things that need to be done to get the money in order to run for politics. It's one giant money game.
Yes. So what do? Being an example, you don't take the money. I'm not going to take money from anybody who's seeking a profit off this town. Not a developer, not somebody who's seeking a job with the township, not somebody who's seeking approvals. I'm not going to take the money. That's how you pay to play politics, by being an actual example and a human being with a soul. I won't sell my soul. And I don't care if you say you can't get the money. Mike, I'm not going anywhere in politics, by the way, because I won't take the freaking money.
Yeah.
Okay? But you know what? I can win this election, and I will win this election. I will help where I live. All right. The people are behind me, and man, I'm a fighter. Right.
So, you know, we do have some ridiculous Supreme Court rulings that are hurting your cause as well, man. So when you look at federally, you know, when they allow corporations to spend all this money on it and then spend money through PACs and people could buy it, when you look what they did to Thomas Massey, you know, whether you like Thomas Massey or not, when you have, you know, powerful people being able to put up $32 million against him, you know, you're at a disadvantage, because the majority of people aren't paying attention, bro. You know, so that's to me that's part of the major problem. And I get what you're saying, but don't you need that money? Have you found that you needed that money, or have
well, I kicked their ass last time.
I led you into that.
I plan to do it again.
Yeah.
You know, I think you just need to change leadership. We need a new mayor. All right. We need a new council president. You just need new leadership. It's plain and simple. If we go in the same direction we're going, our town is done.
All right. Let's talk about your new mayor really quick. Right. So what's different about Elliott, man? Because I'm going to listen. I'll tell you what I hear. Right.
Go ahead.
I hear people looking at me saying that he's your handler. I hear people looking at me saying that, isn't that guy a you know, undercover Jew? You know, this is
fair.
I'm going to toss it out there. Right. So these are the things that I hear. And I hear, you know, that your interest and his interests are 100% not aligned. So how is that change in leadership with Elliott at the top going to change at all if he gets in?
Well, all right. Let me talk about Elliott first. Elliott is an extremely driven, smart, and hardworking individual. He's a smart guy. He's a good businessman. I know some people don't like businessmen, but if you want somebody running your town, you probably want a good businessman who's going to do things efficiently, going to do things the right way, who's going to work hard for you and for the town. And he's just a regular guy who lives in town too. He cares. He cares deeply about what's going on in this town. And my handler, Mike, who the hell's handling me? You see me in the backyard. Who's handling me? Honestly,
I'm just here. I'm just telling you what I'm not saying. I'm not making that argument, Chris. I'm telling you guys what I've heard. And one of the things you guys know that I do is I talk to a lot of people, and I listen to a lot of people, and I listen to a lot of like regular people. So this is, you know, I guess this is what, you know, or the misconceptions that are out there.
Mike, I'm going to be brutally honest with you.
That you're led somehow, whether it be by Phil Reyna or whether it be by Elliott Shemtov or whether it be by your wife. Sorry, I was just messing around.
No, but I'm going to give you all the as much honesty as I could fit into a program here. Now, Elliott, I love him. I think he'd make a great mayor. My campaign came from me. Every bit of it. He saw what I was doing. He loved it. And he's like, how can I help you? He became my campaign manager. And man, he worked hard for me. But all the ideas, all the things came straight from me. There is no puppet master from behind. Like, I'm just a pissed off dude who ran. And somehow I'm just good at fighting. I'm good at strategy. And most of all, this is what always helps me win. Having the truth on your side. Not being tied to the money. Not being a part of this sick cabal that's been running our politics. I'm an independent person who just cares about doing the right thing. And now we may not always agree on what the right thing is, but you know you're getting a real person who's controlled by absolutely no one.
Who's Elliot controlled by?
Elliot's controlled by nobody. And listen, we have disagreements in the campaign too. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, at the end of the day, the platform, the movement, Fight for Jackson, we're all on exactly the same page of doing right for the people of Jackson. It's really as simple as that.
So when you get that change in leadership, what do you see changing?
I think we're going to have a much more professional government. I think Elliot isn't going to put his name bizarrely on everything. It's not going to be about him. He's not going to be controlled by any developers. He's going to not be controlled by a block vote. He's not going to be controlled by anyone. And he's just going to be beholden to the people of this town. And I think he's going to run things efficiently. I think when you have government, you have this like entrenched government kind of culture. You have these employees that are sometimes unnecessary, like personal assistants. You have these weird like allegiances to the government. His allegiance is to the people.
So you have, and I push you on this, and because I think it's I think it's a good thing because you vetted him, you know who he is, you spend time with him.
Spent a lot of time,
right? And I got to tell you, he's come on the show many times, Elliot. So I respect anybody. I don't care who you are, whether I like you, whether I don't like you, whether I agree with your politics or not. If you do have the cojones to come in here, and he has sat down next to me multiple times to talk about who he is, his platform, he's unapologetic in and of itself. So, that I automatically love about people like that. I get very upset when people spend time with me not on camera, when they only want to talk off camera. Elliot will talk to me off camera, on camera, the whole 9 yards. But again, what do you think now, policy-wise? What do you think more of your platform?
Dude, I'll give you the whole thing right now.
What do you think you're doing policy-wise that's going to be able to address some of the Jackson issues?
Well, I think first and foremost, you need a change. All right. I'm going to be blunt. This isn't some Obama garbage, right? You need a real change in town. All right. I hear them saying things like moving Jackson forward. Like, nobody likes where Jackson is moving forward to. Okay. Very few people like what's happening in this town. So we need to change course. We need to change direction. And, part of that is, of course, not taking the money, not being influenced by special interests. That's, to me, is probably
what special interests?
A block vote.
Okay.
Okay. Developers, people who are seeking contracts, people who are seeking approvals. It's all the money. The money is the interest. They the money or a block vote or whatever it is, serve my people, serve my community, serve my interests, serve my development. That's what it's about. It's about being controlled. I'm a person who won't be controlled. Neither is Elliot, and neither is Amanda Trombetta. And I think that's the biggest advantage of the three of us. No one will control us. We are beholden to the people we are supposed to serve. And that's what it's supposed to be. But beyond that, you need to change the leadership, right? We got into that. We need to hire new professionals. How do you lay blame on the prior administration and you hire the same professionals over and over again? Like, why would we hire the same lawyer who wrote the ordinance that got us in a Department of Justice lawsuit?
You guys have the same lawyer?
Oh, yeah. They love that lawyer too, by the way.
Hold on.
That's their go-to.
The guy who got your town castrated,
woman, by the way.
or sorry, whatever. But I don't. I don't gentrify gentrify
I'm
people.
just
Whatever.
saying. I'm
No,
just
so
being
what
factual.
you're telling me is you have the exact same lawyer that got you guys in the position where you were sued by the DOJ that has ultimately castrated the zoning laws in your town. That person, whoever they may be,
Yeah, we can get more into that lawsuit.
is
that
still
destroyed our
there?
Town. Yeah, they hired him. I voted against them. I voted against every single professional who donated to the elected officials. Why do we have a township attorney who's making, I think, $350K a year, and he drops $10,000 to a political action committee with our council president? He drops thousands and thousands more to campaigns. This is pay to play politics. They're never going to donate to me because obviously right now they know I'm not going to allow them to continue working for the town. This is how government works, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
People don't talk about this because they're afraid. I have to work with these people.
And now the lawyers are the ones that make all your, because if it's anything like Brick, so the lawyer is clearly making everything, and they hand my congressman the agenda, and then the Congress or the councilman just read off the agenda that the lawyer handed them, and that's what they vote on. It all comes from the lawyers.
We put stuff through the lawyers. It's a lot of us just coming up with the ideas and the stuff, and I'll write ordinances, I'll write resolutions, and then we clear it by the lawyers. That's typically how it would go, and they make sure it's legally sound. They have to make some changes. They have to give us advice, but why are we hiring the same people that got us in this bad position we're in today? So we cannot hire the same professionals. They use pay to play politics. My last election.
So if you donated to a political campaign, especially in Jackson, you're automatically void from being part of the political system, being the lawyer. If you donated, would you do that?
I already did it.
Okay.
I voted against every single person who made a political donation when I first got in.
I love that.
I lead by example. And if you're going to do the type of stuff in politics that I think is ruining not just our town, but our entire country, guess what? I'm voting against you. So we need to hire all new professionals.
That's one way to stop it. You answered part of my question.
No more pay to play. I think we need to appoint certain new board members when their terms are up. I'm not always happy with what the planning board does. So I think we definitely need new board appointments. I think we need responsible development that puts the people and the environment first.
What's that look like though? This is one of the things that definitely bothers me, Chris. When you say responsible development, again, these words are so subjective that responsible to me and you, responsible to a builder are two totally different things. And then what happens? You have development that's going to be pushed on you from the state. You know what I'm saying? So what can you really do as a council person or as a mayor if you guys get control? What can you really do to have building where it doesn't turn into Lakewood? Because you sit out here and you have Morty Bernstein saying here, we don't want Lakewood, but then he acquiesced when I said you bring Lakewood. There's nothing you could do about it, right? So how do you stop it, bro?
Listen, people own land, they're going to build on it, right? But as a person who's in the government, as a councilman, as a representative, your job is to control the zoning. Now, you can't just change everything willy-nilly like it's nothing. You have to do things responsibly. You can't just go, we're going to stop overdevelopment. We're going to stop all development. That's not reality, and I'm not going to pretend it's like that. If you notice the way I say it, responsible development that puts people and environment first. We've had in Jackson.
What people, though? Because let's face facts. You have communities that are being built specifically for one group of people, Chris. So when you say people responsible, of course it's responsible for us because we have what we need all in this community, and then nobody else is going to live there. We know this is going to take place, bro. Right? So and I'm not saying we're going to be stopping that, but is that responsible? You feel where I'm getting at, bro?
I think everything should be equal. I think I just believe in equality, period.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say it, but no, I don't agree in developments being made for one specific group or community. It should be made for everyone. Everybody should be equal. Everybody should just live together and actually care about each other. But
I agree with that.
People and environment first. I don't believe in changing the rules to suit a developer. I don't believe in changing the rules that will hurt our environment. Just like I'll never stop talking about this, but when you change the rules in the Pinelands, which is environmentally restricted, And I love just the sheer numbers is insane. You take a zone that is 9 acres to one home, right? It's zoned for 9 acres. You can only build one home. And then you create overlay zones where now in that same area, it's 8 homes to 1 acre.
So let's talk about the overlay zones really quick, because the way they like being sold to the general public is these overlay zones are just in case shit. They're like insurance zones. Oh, well, we have to say that we have a plan. And if we tell the courts that we have this type of
Not for
plan
Jackson.
through the over, that's how Brick is doing it. Like
Well,
the overlay zone, they were saying, listen, we have to have a plan as a contingency for this, that, and the other, this, that, and the other thing. And that's how because we have what we have, and then we have our overlay zone.
So they're just preparing you for future development.
For future development. But we had to do that for the courts because we had to show them that we had a plan for the development that somebody has for us. Because the bottom line is this, again, this is coming from the state, this is coming from the lawsuits, this is coming from the lawyers. Everybody in our government, from our planning people that were going to court for this, she had to make an overlay zone to where it satisfied the court needs. We had to accommodate a certain amount of affordable housing. Then we had to have an just in case shit happen. If we needed more, we had to have a plan for that. I'm just telling you what they did in Brick.
My thing is build where you can build. And this is what I say responsible development. If you have zones and areas and land that is buildable, build on it. Don't go into environmentally sensitive land and change the zoning and destroy the areas that are going to be protected. It's that simple to me. Listen, things are going to get built. If you have to build somewhere, do it in a place that's not supposed to be protected. Because when we get rid of all our environmentally sensitive areas, they're gone forever. This is like, to me, is just the most common sense thing to do. Protect what needs to be protected. You're not going to save all the woods. Somebody owns it, and somebody's going to eventually build there. Build your obligations where it's okay to build, not where it's supposed to be protected. So I'm big on protecting the pinelands. I'm disgusted by the things that have happened. I do not support increased density. I will not support development in environmentally sensitive areas. I believe we need to start making environmental review mandatory for every major project. It's not mandatory for every major project. I understand the environmental review cannot automatically stop a project, but I believe the Environmental Commission should be heard on every one. So the planning board or the zoning board has to hear from them so they really truly understand the environmental issues.
So we have a question. Jennifer says, and I'm going to add you to this, is Chris and Elliot, I added Chris and Elliot, she asks, is Elliot going to try to change the mixed use of residential and commercial? And will he shut the shoals from operating out of houses?
Well, listen, it's a tough question, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll take it. Listen, we had a Department of Justice lawsuit. All right. You're never going to hear us say, we're going to shut down schools. Listen, there's a constitution. There's a lawsuit, and listen, if we come in and we go, we're going to shut down the schools, that's not right. Okay. That goes against the Constitution. It goes against all the lawsuits. And what's going to happen? You're going to get more lawsuits. You're going to get more trouble. I refuse to do that. You won't even hear me talk about schools. You won't hear me talk about houses of worship. You know what concerns me? And this is actually another part of my platform we're going to talk about. You're getting me all over the place here, Mike.
So, well, right. She asked a question. You're going off it. To me, it was a land use comment. And we were talking about land use.
Let's get into it. So,
but no, go wherever we want.
I believe that the planning that we have to deal with in our neighborhoods needs to be planned responsibly. I think we went a bit above and beyond with this lawsuit and the things we're doing. I don't appreciate the way things have been happening. I think we're letting a lot of illegal uses just operate. That needs to end. You need real enforcement on those things. We've done things in the council where they're changing parking rules to suit a non-residential use operating illegally, like a building operating without a CO. We're going to, just because it's using a lot of parking on the streets, we were going to just stop parking in certain areas.
Can you combat the turning a house into a place of worship, putting, changing the zoning laws so you could have a pole barn in your backyard and have people there, like where it's actually operating. Is there anything that could be done with something like that? Do you think that DOJ lawsuit really gutted you in that regard?
It hurt us very badly.
Yeah.
But my thing is, if we have laws, we need to follow them. We cannot keep bending the rules. If people are breaking the rules, the laws need to be enforced. There need to be penalties. And you'll hear me talk about non-residential uses in our residential areas. It's destroying our communities. But what you need to do is have better standards. I think you need better buffer zones. I think you need better parking restrictions, so it doesn't flood the area and you have parking all over the place. If you're going to have a non-residential use, you need to meet peak capacity of parking. So you're not disturbing everybody else's life who lives in that neighborhood and you have cars everywhere. These are the things I'm concerned about. I'm concerned about making things better.
I agree with you. I'm going to throw you off a little bit and then we'll get back to your platform. Alter says, ask how much money was raised to run against Chris and how much he raised, all for a 1-year position.
My campaign raised and spent around $10,000. I was the largest contributor to my own campaign. I think it was like 2,600 or so I contributed out of that 10K. They spent a lot of money. I wish I could tell you offhand. It's I don't remember the final numbers, but they had to spend like 60, 70, 80.
Yeah, I heard it was upwards of $100,000 against you.
They also spent a lot of money on this illegal newspaper. So if you guys remember, they literally printed this fake newspaper, talking about how wonderful Jennifer Kuhn was, how wonderful the council was, how wonderful my opponent was.
And how much of a pedophile you were.
These sick, disgusting stories about me.
Oh, it's sick,
and they mailed it out to every home in Jackson.
I'm gonna hammer them every time I get them for trying to frame you like that.
But the thing is,
it was so
Mike,
dirty.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of
They
money.
didn't put who it was from. That was extremely illegal, breaking election law. Now, you talk about printing up that many newspapers and then the postage on it. You're talking they had to spend at least $50K or more just on that one thing. Pair that with what they actually spent legally in the campaign. They outspent us at least 10-1 more. But I'm not. This is why I can beat them without the dirty money.
Yeah, so let's get back to your platform. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read out some of these things. Carlos Martin says, agree to the environmental review should be required to have a complete application. I saw a couple times where you guys didn't even have a complete review or environmental review. I remember Adam Haiti was going off with, like, you didn't even have a complete environmental review and things were getting passed, right? Am I wrong with that? Or okay. Absolutely unbelievable. So let's keep going with your platform, bro. Let's keep going. I'm gonna throw some questions at you.
I think there's no more rubber stamped approvals.
Okay.
We need to require major issues to be resolved before final approval is granted. So oftentimes you'll have where there's like a bunch of issues and they'll just be like, you're approved, just fix it. It's like, I think we need to be a little more strict in our rules and be like, yo, guys, you are not getting final approval until you fix everything. It's like, you have some issues, we're going to kind of let it go and trust you to fix it, and we'll check back on you. No, you have to fix these things or you're not getting approved.
You know what the problem with this is that too, man? When I sit back and I think of solutions for things, it's always more strict, right? And there's two problems with this, because we're our own worst enemies as human beings, because we make government get more and more and more strict because we can't just act right. We can't just do the right things. And what we know is every single feel-good law, every time you don't have something tight, every time it's easy to build something, it's going to be completely taken advantage of. And the problem is, like, as a guy, like, I really battle it in my mind, Chris, because I do believe, like, you're an American, you should be able to build what you want on your land. But when you see the results of that, where it's, if you do your thing, and there's no planning whatsoever that goes into any type of organization, you're going to get this mixed monstrosity of just, if it was a painting, it'd be paint everywhere and we call it abstract. right? So you almost have to be more strict in all of your planning. You have to make everything more difficult to build because of people taking advantage of it. Do you see any other way like out of it or no?
Not really. I'm going to be honest
Yeah.
with you. No matter what, you're going to have these rich and powerful people who are going to sway the laws in their favor. I think you need to be tough. I think you need to be strict. But I think if you do the right thing and you follow the rules, you're going to be okay. But we have is a ton of people who don't want to follow the rules, who want to change the rules. So they use their money, they use their influence, and a lot of times they get what they want regardless of the rules. So I think we do need to be a little stricter. But I get it. I'm a liberty guy. You know, there's certain stuff like people will bring up to me and I'll be like, yeah, I understand that concern, but I don't want to take away somebody's rights over this issue. You know,
It's tough. It's a tough issue. And this is where we have worried mom here. She says, what will you change? There are so many laws that need to be created to save our neighborhoods.
Well, I think we're working on it little by little. And listen, if there's issues, I want to hear it. This is the thing. This is why I want to run government different. This is not about being controlled by people with money, by donors. It's people come to me. You'll see it in the meetings. You'll see it in the way I deal with people. I talk to people, bring up real substantive issues, and we'll talk about it. And hopefully we can figure out a solution.
You know what I would love to see? And when I run for mayor, this is what I'm going to be instituting. I hate the fact that people only get 3 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever. I get the idea of needing that. But I don't see why once a month, if you guys meet twice a month and you have a guy that's clearly passionate about something and wants to present to you, why you can't give him 20, 30 minutes. I don't understand why you can't, as a councilman, spend another 30 minutes listening to somebody. So people like Adam Haiti, people that want to come and do an actual presentation, I think they should be allotted time to present something in a clear, concise way, not ridiculous screaming or any of that, but give him the floor. Say, here, you're obviously passionate enough to do this. Do it. And when I'm mayor of Brick, and it's going to happen in 3 years, that's what's going to happen. If you come here and you're passionate about something, you are not just going to get 5 minutes. If you have questions, I want to hear questions. And if you have a question as a citizen, I don't know why we don't sit there, listen to the questions until people are done. I get there has to be a time limit. But the one thing you should be doing is listening to the questions, giving a real answer. Sure. You feel the same way or no?
No, I'm so about, and it's part of my platform has to do a little bit with this, but I'm just going to keep going, Mike.
Keep going.
All right. I think everybody agrees about preserving land and open space. But I'm very unhappy with what's been going on in this town. And it's been part of contention is how our open space funding is being spent. You go through the numbers, you're talking millions and millions of dollars have been spent on parks. Some parks that we fixed up and then we sold the school.
Wasn't that voted on though? Right? Who voted on that? I thought that was like a 2019 law that got changed in Jackson where they said
you're allowed. Listen, here's the thing. This goes into our right and wrong category again, right? No, it does.
It does.
Everything's connected with our conversations. Now, it's New Jersey law, I believe, allows you to spend your open space funding on parks, on recreation. But really, when the people got sold a tax, people are paying a tax. This is 4th of July. People died and killed over being taxed. Okay? Now, these people voted to be taxed on their own because they want open space. They want the town to buy land. They don't want overdevelopment. They want to keep their nature. So when you go spending millions and millions of dollars on that, on land you already owned, as like it's a secondary parks and rec fund, I think that's wrong.
And don't you have one guy that does like 97% of your parks? Is he the only option?
There's guys making money. There's people making money behind this. Now, I don't know. I'm not going to try to pretend like there's some nefarious like backroom deal about it. I'm not going to take it there. Do I put it past people to do things like that? Of course not. This is government. Right?
I mean, it's sad that we have to sit there and think about who he donated to. Did he donate to get all the parks? Because when you start bringing up that like 97% of your parks are built by one person or one group or whatever it is, he may be the only person that's bidding on them. That could be the thing as well, right? I'm not saying it's nefarious.
No,
it's just it looks interesting. That's all.
You got to question everything.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is the real purpose is to buy land. Okay. I believe in just buying land and leaving it. Leave nature. We don't have to buy land that already has a home on it and then knock down the home and then maintain the land and then spend more money. We don't have to buy open space and then have certain engineering companies doing a lot of work to do whatever they want to do with it over and over again. And thousands of here, all coming out of an open space fund and not out of our normal budget. A little fishy, some of the things are going, but I digress. Construction transparency is important to me because people want to know what's being built.
Yep.
Sometimes I see signs and I don't understand the language of what's being built there. So I like to.
Oh, what do you mean? Because it's written in a foreign language?
It's written in a foreign language.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't appreciate that. People who don't know that language don't appreciate that either. The common language here is English. So I would like to have transparency laws where they do have to put up a sign saying this is exactly what's being built here. This is the builder and different information on there in English. They could write it in any other language as well, but it does have to be in English. I would love that. I think people would like that. It's just.
Well, I think that would go a long way to have one community, right?
agree.
Because like one thing I do hear about you is you want one community. You don't want multiple communities. When you have some things like that, where it's a language that's only for one community or certain groups, no matter who the group is, when you have that and you don't look at the language, you can't understand the signs, you can't read the signs in your own country.
That's creating division.
Does that make you feel like it's America in your backyard, or does it make you feel like it's a different country in your backyard?
It makes you feel like you live in a divided community,
Mm-hmm.
and that needs to end. And as far as responsible development, protecting the environment, I believe we need to prohibit data centers. I don't think it has a place in Jackson. We're already dealing with overdevelopment. We want to preserve our land. So I just don't think, we're worried about our natural resources. So I don't want a data center in there. I believe in prohibiting them. I don't want to wait till somebody tries to get it in and there's a lawsuit, like one town approved one and then they prohibited it. And now they're in a big lawsuit. No, I want to prohibit it right now before anything happens. So I care about the environment. I care about what the people want. One huge issue that always comes up is enforcement. We see a lot of issues with enforcement. First and foremost, I think we need fair and equal enforcement. No selective enforcement. No one gets special treatment. I don't care who you donated to. I don't care who you're connected to. I don't care where you come from. You're treated the same just like everybody else. I think we need to fully fund and support our code and zoning enforcement. I think we may have to. I think that's somewhere we maybe should be putting our resources because those are some of the biggest problems we're dealing with in town. And I think that'll go a long way to protecting our residential neighborhoods and our communities. Here's the thing. I want to give credit to them on something. The yearly rental inspections,
Mm-hmm.
full agreement. I love it. I think it's great, and I think it's making a difference. But I advocated for this well before I ran for office.
Well, you did a video that they were playing their best Chris Pollak impression, right? I think I remember that one.
We can get into their impersonation of me. But no, I was advocating for this well before I was even thinking about running for office. I'm really happy that they did it. We may have certain disagreements on exactly how they did it or creating a new bureau, who can issue violations. Maybe we should have had it done with code enforcement instead. We can have those issues.
I can tell you this. When I spoke to the people in Brick, they were confident that if it got challenged, that what Jackson was doing was not going to be legit. I
don't know if I agree with the way they're doing it. I think it's working. I think it's doing a good job, and I support continuing it. You have to do those inspections. Otherwise, you're going to have bad conditions. You're going to have those overcrowded rentals no matter what. So I want to continue cracking down on those. And I think there's some other stuff to do.
Give me 1 second. People are calling up the line. Hey, really quick, guys. If you notice, we started the show late. I definitely had some issues with getting everything set up and changing boards and the whole 9 yards. So if you call in, I will take call-ins in a minute. If you call in, it's going to be one of these things where you ask me, and then I will kind of relay it to Chris because I'm the only one that really could hear you. Hey, really quick though. So continue. Go ahead. I'm just gonna ask you about the cops, but I want you to continue. See if you get to them.
There's so many issues to get.
Yeah,
we'll be here all night. But
do like 3 more, and then we'll talk. Then I'll ask you how much you hate cops.
I'd like to modernize our zoning code. I think you need to have really clear terms of exactly what like a single housekeeping unit is. I think you need to have very clear terms of what you're looking for.
Clear terminology.
Yeah, like
Oh my
in
God,
the
that's
law.
groundbreaking.
No,
isn't
but
it?
I think things like that help. It's clear standards and creating objective enforcement criteria. I think that may help our code enforcement officers do their job. They have a very difficult job. Like they can't just bust down somebody's door and go, how many people are living here? Like there's a constitution. Like they try, believe me, they do. And this is something really important. Our departments, our administration, and our council should all be trying to work together, right? Our departments deal with issues. They need to come to the administration, who's essentially their boss, right? And be like, hey, we're really dealing with these issues. We're having these problems. Maybe we do need to define things better in the council. Maybe we do need to do some changes in the law. Maybe we do need some stricter ordinances, and we can do that. I think a little bit cooperation can go a long way as far as doing our job.
So now let me ask you real quick. You are attacked by your opponents that you guys are going, that you don't like police officers, you don't like cops. They feel like they're running two cops against you on obviously a cop platform, a law enforcement platform. Do you want to address that? Because you're supposed to be anti-cop.
I would love to. They tried calling me anti-cop last time, which is just it's bizarro world. This is the pathetic political attacks that they do.
Where are they getting it from?
They're making it up.
Okay. But because I've heard you say things like cops, make too much money. I've
never said that, by the way.
Okay.
There have been some debates about the budget, which I'm not happy with the budget. I'm not happy with the direction of this town. And yeah, as we're dealing with budgetary issues, continuing to grow our staffing, whether it be for the police, whether it be for some assistance that came out of nowhere, which we get a lot of detail about that. How do we just continue to spend? We leave taxes flat, which I hate tax. Everybody hates taxes. I don't want to tax anybody else who lives here. But if you don't raise taxes, you're going to increase spending. You're going to increase staffing. What's going to happen in the future? You're going to get hit with a giant tax increase.
Well, you blow through your savings, basically. You blow through your surplus.
You have a tough snowstorm. What happens if we just had a horrible storm yesterday, right? I think the day before too. Trees getting knocked down, power lines getting knocked out. What if there's another Sandy? What if there's another disaster? Where's that money coming from? We're not going to have it.
No, and it's going to come from the federal government like 7 years later, like it did for everything.
We need to
else.
be fiscally responsible. So yeah, I'm going to question every dollar we spend, no matter where it goes. And I'm not afraid to question where our money goes.
And I got to tell you something, man. I have been somebody to say I think cops get paid way too much. I'm not going to put it on you, but I will be somebody to say that. And I'll tell you why I say this. When towns like Lakewood, Jackson, Brick pay a good percentage of their officers over $200,000 a year, $160,000 a year, $120,000 a year, new officers making 55 but have the potential with overtime to be well over 100. When we have people making this much money and none of the Republican governor or mayors or nobody has gotten together and fought the state to allow people to do their jobs. We are paying people a lot of money, and you talk to every single one of the cops, they can't do their jobs. Okay. And listen, there's a number of different reasons for it. You had a lot of cops that were pulling people over, that were doing stupid shit, that got the government up their ass. This is all cyclical. And then we obviously have more people doing dumb shit. So they think you need more cops when that happens. Right. But I come from the school of, why are we paying people this much money if they can't even do their job?
Well, I want to make it clear.
Right. That's where I come from. I'm not putting words in your mouth, but I'll tell you what I think.
I've never been anti-police. I don't think anybody in Jackson doesn't support the police.
Saying you think they make too much doesn't make me anti-police.
I know. I don't say that either.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I'm pointing that out.
But I've never been anti-police. I don't think I've said anything ever that was anti-police. I support our police. I want our town to stay safe. And, my running mate, Amanda Trombetta, works in law enforcement. Her husband is a police officer. But here's the thing, Mike. They've tried this last election. I just told you, Amanda ran last election, works in law enforcement. Her husband's a police officer. And they tried calling her anti-police. Like, this is just the pathetic thing they do because they think, yeah, we got to support. They don't support the police. They're bad. It's like, you're just making up fake things. It's just they're going to get two police officers and they'll be like, make they're manufacturing a fake issue. There's no issue here. I guarantee if you put 100 people from Jackson in a room, myself, Elliot, and Amanda included, you ask, who here doesn't support the police? Nobody would raise their hand. Like, it's silly.
It's such a, to me, it's such an ignorant argument, because when you say, oh, you just don't support the police, I can tell you what happens in Brick. Because the people make that argument and because people buy into that argument, the police, in my opinion, are used as a slush fund in my town. 100% slush fund. And I'll tell you how I know this. The last 3 years, the police has bragged about saving millions of dollars, $2.6 million. But every single year they ask for more and more and more money. When I ask about, hey, where's that other money? Where's that money going? Where's the $2.6 million going? Well, it's taken, it's either put to other things, or it's put back into the surplus, or it's something. But typically speaking, that money has been spent on other things. Mm-hmm. So what happens is when people are ignorant enough to buy that argument, what happens in towns is the police get an open budget to spend everything, and they always ask for more. When I know, like I said, this happened in Brick. When they come underneath, they get, everything else gets funded through the cops, because nobody could go against the cops, no matter how much money that's being spent. Listen, again, I'm not talking for you. I'm telling you about my own personal opinion. I see it happening in Brick, and I see that to be, that's one of the major problems is we have way too many departments that have to spend money, and no matter even if they save money, they're asking for more money. And and I see it with the police. And to me, that's why I say that that's an ignorant argument, because that's what they do. Oh, you have to support them. And if you don't support everything they get, then you're not supporting the police, or you don't like them.
This is not a real issue. This is a manufactured issue.
Yeah.
If you go speak to an average Jackson resident, do they say policing is in their top 5 or even 10 issues in town?
No. What are the top 3?
They won't. Development. To me, like, this is my personal is always money in politics, because we know that influences everything.
What do you think your people? What do you think the top 3 your people are thinking right now? Their top 3 issues in Jackson.
Well, I think development is always the major concern.
Yeah.
I think, from there, I think the non-residential uses in residential zones is an issue.
Okay.
I think partly the warehouses has kind of been an issue. I've been trying to crack down, do a little more enforcement. I did send in a zoning change in one area where I think they maybe shouldn't have had those warehouses in the first place. Enforcement is huge. I think that's a huge issue, because I feel like people don't feel the laws are being enforced properly. So we need to support our code enforcement. We need to support our zoning enforcement, and we need to get things running just smooth and honest. And
I'll toss one in there. Lakewood. Nobody wants Lakewood in coming into
nobody wants Lakewood style development. I'll firmly be against that. Their interest.
And that's part of the overdevelopment. That's part of the taxes. That's part, to me, Lakewood encompasses the top 5 issues that everybody in Ocean County faces, whether it's Jackson or Brick. I think
Lakewood is. And can we just be honest?
Yeah, please.
You love it. All right. But a lot of our politicians are controlled by Lakewood.
Again, Mr. Fitnick was sitting here the other day, and we were talking about different assemblymen that are in Brick that don't want to offend Lakewood, even though they don't represent Lakewood right now, because future them needs Lakewood as voters. So they're not going to defend us. And this was what the thing that I kept harping back with Morty that was outside. And I wish he was sitting here next to us to talk about it, but I kept harping back for everything you're doing seems great for now during an election year, but what's going to happen 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Everything you're doing now seems like it's going to be gone. Seems like it's going to be out the window, because they're not representing. It's a fake representation for now until different needs come about, different special needs come about.
Mike,
and the same thing happens with our politicians.
They've been doing their best Chris Pollak impersonation since I won. Smart on them, because I beat them down. I won by 23 points, maybe more.
It's 5,000 votes, 6,000 votes.
I won by just a huge margin. Now you have this mayor who's been this pretty well-known nasty woman. I know from dealing with her at council meetings. I know from the things she's done. And anytime I had to deal with her, and you know what? I'm going to put this woman on blast tonight. she's making these videos. She makes a lot more videos than me now, even though she used to criticize me about making videos and making my TikToks. Guess who's on TikTok now? Mayor Jennifer Kuhn. I went on my TikTok. I was like, oh, why is she on here? But she's making all the videos now and pretending to be this wonderful mayor. It's a joke. It's a facade. I've dealt with her. Mike, I'll spill the beans here, right? So we talked about this illegal newspaper that they had. It was in town hall. A stack of these illegal newspapers, right, were in town hall.
I remember that.
But somebody at the meeting the night before said, hey, you have this stuff out here. So I go in the next day. Let me see if it's still there. It's still there. I grab the stack. I go in, where's the mayor? Right. And then she's like, oh, she'll be with you in a minute. She comes outside. I'm like, why? Why is this still here? What is wrong with you? That was definitely wasn't nice. I wasn't yelling or screaming.
I seen the video.
I wasn't yelling.
I seen it.
She called the police on me. She filed a false police report because a lot of the things said in that police report were a lie. So she was trying to get me arrested. She was trying to get a restraining order. She was trying to do these things to me because I went in there, called her a liar, definitely called her a clown at some point. And then I threw it in the garbage and I walked out. There was nothing threatening. I wasn't yelling, screaming. I think somebody obviously working for her said I was banging on the walls or something crazy. There's video cameras in there. You know what I'm saying? So it's just straight up lies to the police. This is a woman who promised a $1,000 reward. If people know Mortimer Wertman, and this should be talked about more, he's still missing. And he's been missing for a very long time under very questionable circumstances in Jackson, New Jersey. She promised $1,000 for a reward. And when the family asked for it, she didn't give it to them. I have like a weird emotional connection to them because I spent time around his friend, his mom, and my heart breaks for them every time, not knowing what happened to your son.
I'm going to ask you a hard question.
For her to be a horrible person and not give a reward she promised, the mom asked me and I gave it. I don't care about the $1,000 and I don't make a lot of freaking money. This woman has just been rude. She's been nasty. God, yesterday, there's so many things. We're at the flea market. I'm there with Elliot and Amanda.
Oh, I heard something happen yesterday.
So she walks over. Elliot and Amanda are talking. I'm over by the bounce house. And she walks over and goes, you guys here for your photo op? And this is a woman who does nothing but photo ops now. A woman who puts her name on everything. Her name was on the park that we went to yesterday. She's an appointed mayor.
She's becoming Trump.
And she has an election in November. Why are you spending town resources to put your name on a park? At least win the election first and know you have 4 years before you put your name on something. I don't think you need your name on anything too. It's Mayor Jennifer Kuhn's and Jackson Township present. No, it's just Jackson Township. You're a narcissist. But she goes over to them and goes, you're here for your photo op. Elliot and Amanda, man, they don't play. So they go back and forth with her. And I don't know what's going on. I see them communicating and talking. I was like, at first, I'm like, why are they talking? And then I looked at Amanda's face. I was like, oh, it's not good. And then I guess she says something to Amanda like, who are you? Do I know who you are? Like pretending she doesn't know who she is. She's like, oh, well, do you know who Chris is over here? And the mayor's like, no, I don't know who he is. And I don't know what's going on. I just play along with it to have fun. And I'm like, oh, Amanda goes, oh, this is the mayor, Jen Kuhn. Do you know her, Chris? I'm like, oh, Jen Kuhn from Jackson Township. Yes. And then they tell me what she said to them about the photo ops. Dude, and I go off. I don't play with these people. I seen it. I straight up say, we're not going to put up with your shit. We are not going to tolerate you saying anything nasty to us. You're going to lose your position, lady. Like your time is coming up. I don't play around. I'll tell you, I don't play nice with any of them because they don't deserve it. The night I won my election, Morty Bernstein calls me. Congratulations. You know what my answer was?
Go fuck yourself.
I told him to go F himself. Then I hung up the phone. The next day, Jennifer Kuhn calls me. She's a weirdo. I don't know. She's very strange. I think there's something wrong with her. And I'm sorry, I'm being mean here, but it's just through experience. She calls me. He's like, hi, this is Jennifer Kuhn from Jackson Township. Like we don't know each other. I'm like, okay. And then she calls to like congratulate me, and I literally just laugh and hang up.
So Cruise Tuber says the newspaper was the deciding factor to vote for Chris.
Well, when you see what lengths they're going through and how much money they're going to spend to try to derail somebody who's not part of their system, you know what's going on.
And Mrs. Teacher New Jersey says, don't hate on TikTok.
I love TikTok, man. It's a really great way to get information out to people, communicating with people. No, I like it. I just have to make fun of her because she was hating on me for being on TikTok. But no, I don't play nice with these people, man.
So Jeff says the Engel, Morty, Cumin, Palmieri, and their 2 new chess pawns are using that if you don't back us, then you don't back the blue is about as intelligent and pathetic as Joe Biden say, if you don't vote for me, then you hate black. Hey, Jeff, well done. That's how you come into the chat. That's how you come into the chat. Worried Mom, she says she has a question. Now, she's been pumping this full of, oh, man, where is it? She's been pumping full of questions. This is what I want to ask
you.
Put
me on here. I'll come on and just
Mike, ask Chris, should shows be allowed in residential homes? How about the pole barns? We already talked about that, Worried Mom. Worried Mom, we got to get you up to speed. You know what I'm saying? Oh, sorry. Scott, wait, sorry. Scott, go ahead. If I filed a petition with the elections office, if the illegal newspapers and the election board did nothing, I bet this election they come back again and nobody will care. I'm still waiting for the special winter edition of the fake newspaper promise. What a joke.
I don't think they're going to try it again. I think they got the results, right? They know doing that again won't work. I think they're not as smart as they think because they're doing a lot of the same tactics they used in the, I'd say, the election prior to mine.
Okay.
It's the same.
What tactics are the tactics that Howard's asking about the podium? What's going on with the podium?
You don't back the blue, it's like silly. You're anti-police without any actual reasoning behind it.
But where's the podium, Chris?
Dude, I don't know what's going on.
Where's the podium? I thought it was supposed to be back like 2 months ago.
Mike, I'm going to pull you to a totally different conversation, and I'm going to add that to it. So the podium is going to become a different conversation to a bigger conversation.
Okay.
Now, never in my life, Mike, did I think being a Jackson councilman, I would be dealing with the issue of free speech. So people who were at this meeting last time, there was a resident, I'll just say Adam, really great guy. He's a scientist, by the way, in case people don't know.
Microbiologist. Yeah.
As somebody in the Jackson GOP was calling him mentally challenged. And this person, I think, it's the same guy who called me Antifa and, made these ridiculous psychotic claims against me. But the man's an actual scientist who cares about the environment. He knows a lot more than most people. So really watch how you talk about people. It's really disrespectful and disgusting. But so at last meeting, Adam listen, he's combative.
Yeah, he was definitely combative. 100%.
I'm combative too, though. All right. So what happened is he went over his time and he kept going and he brought up really important issues, by the way. And they just, in a rush, shut down public comment and shut down the meeting.
Morty said you voted for the shutdown, though.
Okay. So I didn't say a word because it happened very fast.
Okay.
And I didn't even know. You can even hear at the end, like you hear me like faintly say to somebody, so don't let anybody else speak. Like I didn't yay or nay anything. I was just like in shock, to be honest. And it's my own fault for not kind of catching and going, yo, what's going on? But I was just, it happened. I don't support it. I did not vote for it. I'll tell you that. I was not okay with it. It's just like, all right, we're going to stop public discourse now. Everybody, yay, nay, yay. All right, we're going to end the meeting now. Yay. Like that's how fast it happened. I was like, whoa. And I'm sitting there like, what the hell just happened? But the fact is, they did that and it was wrong. Everybody else who was there to speak, everybody else who took the time out of their day to show up to a local meeting, what kind of message is that to them? And I think Elliot said it best. Elliot said, you know what you do in an instance like that? You take a recess. Somebody you maybe can't control, somebody having trouble with, take a recess, come back and calm things down. Don't just end people's free speech. Don't end a public comment section and don't end the meeting.
So Howard says, Chris, buy a podium on Amazon with your own money and bring it to the next meeting. Problem solved. You can actually get a podium with speakers and USB devices. You know, it'd be really funny.
Mike, I'm not done.
You should take. I know, but you should. A side note. You should get like a GoFundMe for a podium in Jackson. That would be hysterical if you produce one before they do. That would be fun. I agree with this guy. I think I just think you should go buy one.
I think the podium.
But sorry, go ahead.
I think the podium not being there makes the people a little bit more reluctant to get up there and speak. You don't have any place to put papers, a computer, or anything like that. I don't like that, and it's been a long time. I don't know what the issue is. I don't like that. The fact that we just shut down public comment, we shut down a meeting, and then I guess you get exclusive because I don't hide anything. I get an email, and it's that our representatives have requested police to be at meetings now.
Good Lord.
Over what happened in the last meeting.
Over Adam.
And they're going to be paid overtime.
Of course they are.
You're going to use.
Because we support the cops.
This has nothing to do with the cops. This is not a cop issue.
No, I know. I'm just breaking balls.
This is a fact that these people are willing to spend our tax money to almost intimidate people, to quelch free speech, to make people not want to get up and speak, to make people have some kind of fear. And you know what happens when you use the police and to stop people's free speech? You get in lawsuits.
You lawsuits,
our mayor.
But you get again more and more division with the people versus the cops versus it seems like we're set out to divide and we're not set out to bring people together, and listen, bro, we've been actually going for an hour and 15. We have a very big crowd right now. Hey guys, if you appreciate this, if you think we bring you any value whatsoever, best thing you do for me is a finger blast my like button. I really appreciate it. Do it in an American way, do it in a 4th of July way, a patriotic way, and you share it as well. You take that finger, you share the hell out of this show because I really appreciate it, man. And listen, bro, so let's do this because listen, we could do this all day long. We have Elliot, and we do. I know you have your family. It's been a day, and I could do this with you nonstop. But let's do this. You have a lot going on, and you hear politics is being played, and this is going on, and that's going on. I guess when it all comes down to, you came over, you hung out with the family, you wanted to come on tonight, and on July 4th, we wanted to talk about America Starts in Our Backyard. And tell me, like, what's your overall message when you're sitting in this chair? What was the message that you really wanted to get across to people tonight?
I don't know. Is it the big message?
Whatever. What was it? Because I know there's a lot in your head. You sent me a lot
in my head, Mike. We could sit here and talk for hours.
Yeah. Is there a theme? Is there something that maybe you didn't speak about? Is there anything like, message wise that you wanted to portray that you haven't yet? Maybe I put it that way. Because we spoke about a lot already.
I think that we need change. We need change in just about every facet of our government. And it starts locally. People need to start getting more involved. Pack out your meetings. I know it's not easy. I know it's boring. I know it's like lame in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. I obviously got into it. But I believe in doing the right thing. I believe in fighting back. You have to fight back. You cannot allow these people to rule over you anymore. You cannot allow people with money, people with influence to make decisions for your life and your future. Mike, I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I feel like my dream has been stolen sometimes living in Jackson, New Jersey. I get scared for the future of my town.
Well, Stefan does as well. He says, take a walk through Jackson High School and see how crowded the school is and the kids eating lunch in the hallways.
I'm very upset, as is everybody else. And if you just continue down the same path, how are things going to get better? And you're going up a mountain too. It's not going to be easy. I'm going to sit here and talk about things and I'm going to do my best. I'm going to give you my best. I'm going to fight for you. I'll take a bullet for you. All right. I'll take these negative, disgusting stories. I'll take my reputation being destroyed. I'll take being called names. You can do just about anything to me. I'm not going to quit. This is what you get from me. This is where I excel.
I love it, bro.
I'm a fighter, and I want to fight for the people who live here, no matter where you come from, because the people here deserve true representation. And you get that. You see it in the meetings when I'm up there. I'm going to challenge authority. I'm going to push back. I'm not a yes vote. Amanda Trombetta will not just be a yes vote. Elliot Shemtov is there to represent all the people of Jackson, not special interests, not developers. We're the guys you need. for change. Honestly, you don't need the same political players, the same political power.
No, you need
don't
divided
need,
government.
You don't need
need
some yes men getting in there.
Yep.
Because that's what they're going to be. I see the way they run meetings. I see the way they push legislation. I have to question everything. I got to sit there and over a open space purchase. Sounds nice. But then when I look into things, I'm like, wait, I got to do like zoning research. I got to look into what's going on over here. I got to go on the computer. I got to like spend hours and hours of my time. I beat my head against the wall every freaking day.
I love it, man. Listen, bro, everybody, this is the bottom line, and I'm gonna speak to everybody right now. Here you have Chris. You're always welcome to come on the show, and you always do come on the show when I ask. Sometimes you invite yourself, and I love those times when you invite yourself. And it's interesting because I just sent you a thing where like 3 days ago was the very first day you came on the show. So this is almost like a year anniversary for you being on the Caltrop, right? I got to tell you something, guys. I respect the people that sit in this chair next to me.
And
okay,
you can ask me questions anytime. You can
and we
push back
have
on me.
and
I want to come back here, and I want people on the phone. I want people debating me.
Well,
I want the people who hate me. I want everybody, Mike.
Yeah.
Give me questions. Give me criticism. I want it. You know why? Because one, I'll be able to answer your questions. I'll be able to give you the truth. Or you know what? Maybe you'll force me to be better.
Yeah, that's a novel concept, right? Maybe somebody says something that you go, "Oh, wait a second, that makes sense," and then maybe adjust what you do. I got to tell you something. I'm not thrilled with how some people avoid me like the plague. I wish they would sit down. I wish we could have conversations. I'm going to ask everybody in Jackson. Your election is the big election in Ocean County right now, and you guys know I handle Ocean County, so I'm offering right now to moderate in a real way any debate that any of you guys want to have. If we want to have a mayoral debate, I would love to have Elliot Shemtov and Mayor Kuhn sitting next to me and me moderating this debate. Who wants to see that? Who wants to see Councilman Chris Pollak and Mordecai Bernstein sitting across the room from each other talking about certain things? Who wants to see this thing happen? I do. I personally want to see it happen. And hopefully we're not going to devolve it into a shouting match or into how much of a piece of shit the other person is. Hopefully we have any real discussion to get to a real place. Or maybe we just argue and yell at each other. But the bottom line is, I think you, as a voter, as a citizen of this town, deserve to know everything that's on these people's minds. Whether it be Chris, whether it be Morty, whether it be Jen Kuhn, whether it be Lisa Creighton, my town, anybody running for this, you should be wanting to reach the people on every single layer. And the people that some of the people that are running, and listen, I'm not going to talk bad about the guy, so I'm not even going to bring up his name, but he's on the ticket against you guys. He's posting videos of me going against Elliot on my show, and he hasn't even agreed to come on, hasn't even answered me. This is the stuff that I don't like. So I want everybody, sit next to me. I will be respectful for you. Every one of you guys out there, I have respected every person that has sat in this chair or came on my show. And am I hard on some of them? Yeah, but you're gonna be treated right. And I hope you guys take my advice. Chris Pollak, dude, on July 4th weekend, badass America, 250th birthday. Really appreciate you being with me, man.
It's great to be here. And you know what? I'm gonna say it. There is an open challenge to them to come on here and have a real debate. And I want to have like a real discussion. Like I'll sit here for 3 hours, 4 hours. I'll sit here for 5 hours having a discussion with them because there's issues that need to be talked about. I'm not afraid of the truth. I'm not afraid of discussion. How do you know things unless you talk about it? How do you get the truth?
Here, though, not behind closed doors, not in some stupid council meeting, not sitting in
public.
You need to do it here in front of everybody so we know the actual conversation, the real conversation, not the bullshit version, not the customer service version. We're not getting the abbreviated version of the Cliff Notes.
And I think we should have Mayor Jennifer Kuhn, the two people running for council. We should have myself, Elliot, and Amanda here for a debate. But listen, guys, if that's too much for you, I could do 1 verse 3. I'm really not afraid of debate. I'm not afraid of discussion. I'm not perfect.
So I'm just wondering why they are. So that's it.
We know why. I think there's so many indefensible things. But
so what are you gonna do? Everybody, listen. We have got to wrap it up for a number. No, it's listen. We could do this all day. But hey, a challenge tossed out there. I'm just wondering, you guys, and I know some of the opposition is watching right now. Is the challenge going to be accepted? Thank you guys very, very much. I really appreciate you. I will be back tomorrow night, 8 p.m. The Caltrop. I'm off my week hiatus. We obviously did a special show tonight. I just want to say thank you guys very much for joining me. I hope you love your 4th of July weekend. I hope you spent it with family. I hope you lit off fireworks or hid from the fireworks or however you like to celebrate. I hope you celebrated America in the most individual way possible, because that's what this is about, guys. Remember, e pluribus unum, out of many one. Out of many one. There's a lot of us, but it's all about you, and it's all about you doing the right thing. And obviously, doing the right thing is fingering my like button. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for joining us, Chris Pollak, my man, Councilman Chris Pollak. Guys, this is how you get informed. Appreciate you guys. This Caltrop is out. Later.